Okay, so today I would like to talk about something a little lighter than what I talked about last week, even if I'm still sad, but I really need to think about happy things or funny things. Anyway, I'm going to tell you a story. About 1 month ago, I had my water heater which broke, and my plumber came to repair it. My plumber, I know him, I've known him since 10 years now, so I'm not going to say that my plumber is my friend, but I know him enough to discuss things about life, about business. And once the water heater was repaired, we started talking about the business, and I was telling him my difficulties, he was telling his difficulties, and I was telling him that I was stressing most of the time, even in my bed all the time. And he told me, you know, once the day is over, you must think of something else, because if you stress in your bed, it's not going to change anything anyway. So he told me that when he was coming back home, he was watching TV, movies, things to extract him from the usual life. And he told me that I should do the same, just to relax a little. The fact is that I don't have a TV, but I have Netflix on my computer, and I used to watch not videos, well, I watch YouTube videos too, but I used to watch TV shows that I know really well and that I watched already maybe 1,000 times. For example, like the Gilmore Girls that I was watching in Paris and I was still watching here. And I actually learned how to speak better American by watching the Gilmore Girls, because they speak really quickly, and being forced to understand everything they were saying really helped me to really learn English, even if I already knew how to speak English. But it helped me to, it taught me to speak faster and to understand faster, and especially to understand the typical American expressions, which are very different from the British English. And also, I've been watching a lot, for example, How I Met Your Mother, because I really love this TV show. It's funny, and I love the actors in it, and it makes me laugh. It's fun, and in the same time, very sentimental, very made with the heart. Unfortunately, they removed it from Netflix lately, and I was very sad, because I loved watching that, and maybe I should buy the DVDs, I don't know. Anyway, and very good music also in the Gilmore Girls, as in How I Met Your Mother. Incredible music. I love these two TV shows. I love Friends also, because it makes me laugh, and it reminds me of when I was living still in Paris, because I used to watch Friends in English, actually, in Paris. So all that is fine. The problem is that I know the stories by heart, and I almost know all the words, all the exchange, everything they say. I know it really well. So there is no surprise, and usually when I watch that, I'm in the same time thinking of something else. I'm a little distracted, because anyway I know the stories already. So my plumber told me, you should watch something new, something that you don't know, so it's going really to distract you from your stress. And I thought he's right. Maybe I should start watching different things. And I decided to find something that I wouldn't have watched by any manner usually. So I opened Netflix, and the first thing which appeared was Gossip Girl. I never thought of watching Gossip Girl, because just the name gossip already, it doesn't interest me. I'm not a big gossiper, I don't really like that. And also I thought that it was really for teenagers or for little girls, not for my age. And really I was absolutely not attracted to this kind of TV show. And I had absolutely no idea what it was talking about, and it's not new, it's old now. And I thought, okay, I'm going to watch that. It's going to be probably very stupid, and I will probably won't like it, but I will try, I will make a try. So I started watching by working in the same time and on my computer, and I was not really willing to make the effort, I must admit, but I gave it a try. And actually I was taken in the action, in the story, really very quickly, because I don't know why. The story, the fact that the blonde girl Serena slept with Blair's boyfriend, it caught me. I don't know why, but it caught me. But I was watching that, and I was still a little distracted, especially that I found Blake Lively, the one who plays Serena, a little superficial at first sight. Actually, it's not the actress that I like the most in the TV show. And also the one who plays Nate, he's a beautiful guy, but he seems always sad and a little empty, which is wrong, because when we watch the TV show until the end, he's not so stupid as we can imagine. He's not as irrelevant. He's not only beautiful, he has something. Well, not my kind of guy, but okay. I was of course interested by the guy who plays Dan, who is a writer. And at the beginning of the TV show I was really hating Chuck because he tries to rape a girl, and he really behaves badly. It's really the bad boy, you know. And I was like, oh, this one deserves a slap on the face, you know. But in the first season, I think it's the 7th episode, and I think that the action really starts there, because it's when Chuck really is in love, fall in love with Blair. And suddenly it was not anymore a TV show that I'm watching just like that for the fun. It was something I was taken in it really deeply, so deeply that I couldn't stop watching. I couldn't stop, and the only thing which was interesting me, it was if Chuck was going to end up with Blair. And it's ridiculous, because he's the bad guy. She's a little spoiled, and she doesn't behave really well. But I think that so her name is, I'm sorry, I will write the name of the actress, Meister, but the first name, I don't remember the first name. Anyway, I think she's the most interesting actress in the TV show. She's really deep, and I think it goes much beyond acting. She really has a lot of depth in her way of playing. I don't know, I really like this actress, and I also really like the guy who plays Chuck, that I hated at the beginning of the TV show, but by watching I found him more and more interesting in every episode. So I was so taken in the action that I was taking my phone everywhere, watching on my phone everywhere I was going, watching on my phone, even when I go in the bathroom, even in my bed, even by working, even in my shop, everywhere. I couldn't stop watching, because I needed Chuck and Blair to be together. And I didn't understand why. At a point, I remember I went to the post office and I didn't have, I was not watching my phone because in the street by walking it's too difficult to have the connection. But I was thinking all the way by walking to the post office, will Chuck be with Blair, and why is it so important for me? It took me maybe 10 days, 2 weeks, to understand that it was related to my own love life, actually. I realized, and I never realized that before, so it's better late than never. I realized that I was always falling for the bad boy in my life. I've always been, I mean the long relationships, the guy who counted in my life, always were not bad boys because they were nice, I'm not masochist, you know, but they had a dangerous vibe in them. It was like that with my sweetheart in high school that I actually saw just before moving here in Los Angeles. I dated him after my ex-husband left just once, and that was it. Actually, he's a douche now, but but I realized that there was a lot of common point between my ex-husband and my sweetheart, and even my first husband. My first husband by a different way, but still dangerous vibe, a little the bad boy, nice, because Chuck in the TV show, he's actually very nice. He is intimidating, he has a dangerous vibe, but in the same time he has really a deep relationship and connection with Blair. It's not fake, it's not superficial, it's not mean, it's not destructive, contrarily to what Blair thinks. Blair thinks that it's dangerous for her to be with Chuck, but actually no, they just have to find the right angle to be together. I realized that I was only interested in these kinds of guys in my life, which was kind of a revelation for me, because I didn't imagine myself being interested in dangerous guys. Not that they are dangerous, but you know, like more passionate, I would say, with more passion, with more you feel alive when you are with this kind of guy. I didn't realize that before. It was maybe not a good idea because I ended up alone. So I was thinking, would I change something if I could go back in the past? Would I do it differently? Would I go with guys which are different, which are more low maintenance, which are more normal? And no, I wouldn't, because I really think that I like what is passionate. I don't like what is lukewarm, you know, what is nice but without any passion. I don't know how to say by a different way. I don't regret anything, even if my last relationship with my ex-husband, which lasted almost 20 years, 19 years and a half more exactly, ended up really badly, and it almost killed me. But when I think about it now, I don't regret anything. I would do the same again. I loved these almost 20 years together. It was passionate until the end. I mean, a passion, it's not, you know, a passion, we have a tendency to think that it's something that we have just at the beginning, and then after a few months it becomes more less passionate and more normal. But no, a true passion, a true love can last years. I mean, I was as passionate about my ex-husband at the end than at the beginning, and I thought we had a true love together. Maybe it was only on my part. I think he loved me, but well, he was maybe not as reliable as I thought. However, I really think that our relationship was deep, because otherwise we would be able now to talk like friends, because we have a son together, so we should be able to talk as friends in spite of the bad which happened at the end. It was not the bad, I mean we never fought or argued. It just that he left me for another woman. I was just devastated, but we didn't argue. We just got separated, and I didn't mean to hurt him. I don't think that he meant to hurt me. It was just like that. It happens. Actually, he's not even with the woman he left me for. He's not with her anymore, but whatever. I mean, in spite of our separation, we should be able to talk as friends now, and we don't. We barely speak. We speak only together. We talk together only when it's absolutely necessary, but he avoids me, and I think that he probably feels guilty somehow. He feels guilty, and it's a pity, because I would be totally ready to be friends with him. I'm not in the same position anymore, you know, but obviously it's impossible for him, so it was probably hard on him as well, not by the same way as on me, but well, anyway, all that to say that this TV show is much more than I imagined. The music is excellent inside. I don't like all the musics, but they play real songs, you know, and some are really, really good. There are amazing scenes inside. For example, there is a song by Adele at a point with a scene with the bar mitzvah, and they take Chuck and Blair and they carry them on a chair, and they make them jump on the chair. And also that shocked me, because my wedding with my second husband happened exactly like that, and it put me back in that situation, because I lived that, and it was as joyful as the scene in the TV show. So it was weird to watch that from the outside and not be the person on the chair. The song is really good, and it's a very famous song by Adele, Rolling in the Deep, yes, by Adele. And there are also French songs. If you could understand the lyrics of the French songs, you would laugh, because it's funny. The lyrics are funny and a little, well... I wouldn't say that the words employed are very polite, and I was a little surprised by the lyrics on the French songs. It's funny. It's funny also to see Paris, because there are a lot of scenes in Paris, and of course it resonated with my life, because I was there when it happened for me. So that was weird too. Oh, there is at the end a song by Serge Gainsbourg, which was originally sung by Serge Gainsbourg and Brigitte Bardot, and Bonnie and Clyde. I recommend for you to listen to this song. It's a very old song from the 60s. I was a child when it was released. And I was amazed that they used that song. They use also another song by Serge Gainsbourg with Jane Birkin, Je t'aime moi non plus. A lot of things that I know perfectly because it was a part of my life when I was in Paris, and all the action is not in Paris, most of the action is in New York. I don't know this kind of life because I never lived in New York, and my family is not as rich as these people in the TV show. Actually, it's ridiculous how much rich they are. I'm even wondering if something like that exists in the real life. But you know, New York is a very expensive city, so maybe it's like that in New York. I don't know. Anyway, they are all crazy there. Obviously, in the TV show, they are. I think the parents are more screwed up than the children. But anyway, I continued watching the TV show. I think it's the 5th time that I'm watching it. I'm still watching it now, because every time I watch it again, I discover something new which relates to me. For example, at a point she says that she's watching movies or TV shows again and again and again because she knows the end and she doesn't like to have bad surprises, and she likes to know how it ends up. That's exactly why I'm watching TV shows again and again, exactly for the same reason. Also, at another point, she told Chuck, I didn't think that it's possible to love too much, but maybe we can love too much and it's not right. And that totally resonated with me, because I think that I loved too much my ex-husband. I mean, when you love someone, it's great to have a passion and to love the person fully, but you must not forget yourself in the process, because it automatically ends up badly. You must keep a small part for yourself, and I think that I loved him too much, but he gave me back a lot also, so it was not like I was abused. I didn't feel forced to love him and he was giving me nothing back. No, he was giving me back a lot, but obviously I think that at a point I loved him too much, and I forgot myself in the process. So that is something to acknowledge and to not forget. When you love someone, don't forget yourself in the process. What I mean is keep a part for yourself, keep something which is just yours, because if it ends up, you will have something to hold on to. If the person goes away and you gave everything and you have nothing for yourself, you end up with nothing. I had the chance to want to move to Los Angeles, so that was my thing, but I couldn't paint anymore, for example, so I couldn't express myself in painting. It was impossible. Oh, the dresses, oh my god. The clothing in the TV show, it's only designers, and the jewelry, the dresses, wonderful. I don't have this kind of money to buy all these clothing, but it's almost art, you know, and I love colors, I love art. Anyway, this TV show looks lame and superficial, and actually more you watch it and more you see the depth in it. It's not superficial, there is some superficial parts, but which contrasts a lot with the deepest ones. Okay, I obviously have a problem with my camera. The batteries don't stay charged long enough. Anyway, all that to tell you that there is a lot of depth in this TV show, but mostly because of the two actors who plays Blair and Chuck. I think they have the most important and interesting part in this TV show, according to me, because of my history with men. I'm not saying that their love is the best love to have and that they are an example, because it's not for everybody. But thanks to this TV show, I realized that I have a big expectation in a love story. And that's probably why I'm still alone, because I didn't find the right love for now. I'm not saying that I'm against the idea and that I won't find. I'm sure that I will find. I think that we can have a deep love, a true love in one's life, but I'm also sure that it doesn't mean that we have only one. I loved several men in my life by different ways, but now I realize that they had common points. There were common points between all these men, and it was not an accident if I ended up with these men. Thanks to this TV show, thanks to Gossip Girl, I understand now what kind of man I'm searching for. I'm not sure it's a good idea. I'm not sure it's the right way to do. But for me, it's the only way. Otherwise, I'm not in love. So I really need to. For me, the love must be passionate and interesting, and deep, and not usual. And well, it's like that. So we will see. I'm not as young as I used to be, of course, and it's even more difficult to find someone at my age, but it doesn't mean that it's impossible. I know people who are older than me and who find someone, so this man probably exists somewhere. I must just find him. Anyway, I recommend Gossip Girl. I'm very surprised. I would have never thought that one day I would watch something like that. I actually saw that, I thought it was for teenagers or young women, and actually it seems that a lot of people are watching that, and people of my age. It's not only a young audience. I'm very surprised, especially that I know New York. I already went to New York, but I'm not interested especially in the New York scene, so I'm surprised to be interested in this TV show. I really appreciated the music. I really appreciated the designers. I really appreciated the fact that they really shot in New York and in Paris. It's not fake. They were there. I recognize Paris. It's really in Paris. They were in Paris. I was very surprised, because usually the TV shows, they try to make a fake Paris, and usually it's really ridiculous because it doesn't look like Paris. But this time it's really Paris, and I recognize all the places where they are. It's amazing, the dress, and this scene in the Gare Saint-Lazare with this incredible dress is absolutely amazing. And I'm really surprised that a simple TV show, which is there to entertain people and to make them forget their life, actually it threw me back to my own life and to my past and to my love history. I was very surprised. I was absolutely not expecting to arrive there in what I am right now, and to really think about my life and my choices in life. Another thing that I want to say is that the actor who plays Chuck has been accused very recently to have sexually assaulted and raped 2 women. I'm not his lawyer. I don't know this actor. I didn't know this actor before watching this TV show, actually. I know nothing about the case. I completely understand that women who have been raped in the past are talking now. I think that it's the right thing to do. But I absolutely hate when women accuse men and it's lies, it's false. So why I'm saying that, I think that in that case especially, it's false. Because I read the accusation and it doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, but it doesn't make sense. One woman says that she was invited in his home years ago, that she was afraid by him, that she didn't like him, but her boyfriend, producer, encouraged her to stay, and she needed to take a nap, and she went in the guest bedroom and she took a nap, and she woke up with Ed raping her. I'm sorry, but it doesn't make sense, because I'm a woman. If I arrive in a home where I'm scared by the owner, and if I feel very uncomfortable with this person, I'm not going to go in a guest bedroom, I'm not going to take a nap, and I'm not going to let my door open, and I'm not going to be raped by this guy, even if the person I arrived with encouraged me to do so. Usually I don't take naps at people's home, people that I don't know in their home. I don't do that. The only explanation I see, if this story is true, is that this woman maybe was on drugs, or maybe drunk, I don't know, and she needed to take a nap. But in that case, if it's the situation, I don't know how her accusation can be taken seriously, because maybe she is imagining all that. Anyway, I'm not there to be the lawyer of this actor, but I also hate when women lie, because it defeats the purpose of true accusations. We women must be very responsible by the way we accuse men of rape, because it is a very serious matter, and we must say it only if it is true. And in this situation, when I read the accusation, I thought that it looked like nothing, and that it didn't make sense. There is no logic in this story. And I feel that there is something very weird, because in the TV show, he's accused of raping and assaulting women. And we see him as a teenager, very young, trying to rape a girl. So it's weird that in the reality, exactly the same thing happens than in the TV show. And maybe the woman who accused, the two women who accused, they are both actresses. So now we are talking about them. So it's possible that this woman wanted to be a little more famous, and maybe were hoping to get some money. I'm sorry, but I don't like that. So that is my own opinion. I may be wrong. I didn't read the case. I didn't read everything. I don't know this actor. This actor started really young and had a lot of success very quickly. And he is someone who managed to have an American accent, even though he's British. And when he speaks in the real life, he has a very British accent. So that is an actor who works really hard to do his job properly. It's very difficult for me to imagine that a guy who works so hard and who really wants to succeed would take such a risk like that. I don't believe it. So I just wanted to say that, because it's really a pity that we can now in the social media accuse some people with no proof. And I think that in such a situation, it should be told only if the accusation is proved. As long as we don't know, it's a pity to put the shame on someone who maybe did nothing at all. So I wanted to say that. It's not to defend Chuck or the actor playing Chuck. It's just that I like things when they are right and not when they are wrong. And according to me, this situation is really wrong. So I wanted to talk about that too. Really, I discovered two great actors in this TV show, and the other ones are not bad either. There are many good actors, so I recommend it. Okay, if you have Netflix, have a look. It's not a sponsored video. I'm not paid to say that. It's just, I'm just sharing what I'm loving right now. I'm not sure yet what will be my next video. There are many things I want to talk about. I just need to decide what's next. I got many messages from Ron's friends during these last 10 days, and it was really warming my heart, really. I appreciated to see how many people loved Ron Kane. Okay, I see you very soon. Bye bye.